Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Decided to shoot the video today from sitting inside the Toyota Tacoma. It's a relatively cool day outside, nice and sunny, as you can see, pure blue skies, so why not? Anyway, I've been thinking, do I keep my Toyota Tacoma or do I get rid of my Toyota Tacoma? Now, more specifically, when the new, remodeled, redesigned, super-duper four-cylinder turbo Tacoma comes out, should I get rid of this one to buy the new one, or should I keep them both? I've mentioned this before in some other videos, and I have made a decision what I'm going to do. And I'll tell you that right now. I'm keeping this Toyota Tacoma. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to keep it forever, or maybe I will. It all depends, and I suppose it depends on a few things. Firstly, is the new Toyota Tacoma going to be any good? From a number of different stances, I guess. Is it going to be reliable? Are there going to be first-year problems? Because I will be getting the first model year. I know, a big sin in buying any new vehicle, right? But I'm a Tacoma guy. I'm a Tacoma channel. I'm going to be doing that. So that's a given. As soon as I can put my hands on it, hopefully late this year, or sooner would be great. But I'm hoping to get it at least this year. And I think they're going to be available as Toyota always releases everything. I suspect probably somewhere in the September, October timeframe, something like that. You're going to be able to start placing orders for them, and they'll start trickling into dealerships somewhere during that time period as well. What's going to be interesting for me to see is if we continue to have the shortages that we've had. I drove by the Toyota dealer the other day going somewhere, and I looked over at the lot, and basically there were only tumbleweeds and dust in there. I mean, they had very few cars at all, let alone any new Tacomas. So I'm a little cautious to say that they're going to be available, at least down here for me. We shall see. Next up is, how's the power in that truck? I've done things to this truck to increase the power, to get rid of lag. We have the dual aftermarket exhaust. I've got the intake, and of course the pedal commander. The biggest change that you can make to get rid of any throttle lag and make the truck quicker. And all it really does is release the power that the truck has. By the way, there is a link down below if you want to check it out. You can save some cash. Not really trying to make this a pedal commander commercial, but it does make that much of a difference. So I'll be very curious to see if the new Tacoma has no throttle lag. In other words, if they've gotten rid of that. I suspect they will have, because it's going to be a whole different system, right? It's going to be a four-cylinder engine. It's going to have the turbo. I suspect it's going to feel completely different. I just hope it's not gutless. In other words, it'll have some sort of turbo spool somewhere, and then that'll be it. You got to get there, utilize it, and then it's gone. I've driven vehicles like that before, and frankly, they're terrible. It feels like you've exhausted everything that the vehicle has, and then it's just gone. I don't think that's the way it's going to be. Turbos and their integration with the engine power and all that stuff have really come a long way. A few years ago, I had a turbo Audi. It was a four-cylinder. Can't remember if it was twin or single. I seem to think it was a single, but I'm not sure. But either way, you'd never know that vehicle was turbocharged. It had full power throughout the range the whole time. At least it felt that way. So hopefully this new Tacoma is going to be just like that. Another thing, of course, is going to be the modability of it. As I've progressed through the years with the channel and actually everything that I like to do myself, I have to be able to mod the truck. It's something that I like to do. It's what I do for a living, basically. And it's just got to have that ability, that capability. We've got to be able to mod the truck. And I can't imagine that a Tacoma would come out that won't have mods for it in the long run. I do suspect that in the beginning, as with everything that comes out, there'll be a lag period of time for more major mods and things. Because frankly, all the aftermarketers have to redesign their mods or come up with new mods to suit the new vehicle. Particularly if Toyota really does go full bore and change everything in the truck. So there's some engineering and development time involved there. You'll still have other things. I mean, obviously door sill, protection, that's not really going to change. maybe hood scoop or hood stone chip covers or whatever. You know, that stuff's not going to change. But when it comes to headlights and taillights and exhausts and lifts and all the juicy fun stuff that we really like, there's going to be a bit of a lag there. So it'll be nice for me to have both. But the biggest reason that I would keep this Tacoma as opposed to trading it off on the new one, there's really two. Someone brought this up the other day and they said, well, you know, your audience has this Tacoma. In other words, the 3rd gen. And if you just get rid of it, you're going to have a truck that nobody else has. Well, I do think there'd be interest in that. I think if you're a true Toyota Tacoma or even really just a mid-sized truck guy, or gal, you're going to be interested in what's out there in the market, regardless of whether you happen to own one or not. But there's still a group of people out there, of course, like me, who want to see things that they can do with their own truck and things. So it'll be good to keep it from that standpoint. The other is comparison between the two. You know, I am very interested to see how this 3rd generation Tacoma compares with, I guess, the 4th generation Tacoma. It's going to be really interesting to me to have them side by side and to look at everything on both trucks, to see how they perform, to see the body panels, the interior, even the radio and the gauge cluster and the trim and all that stuff, both inside and out. How it drives. That's going to be a critical thing for me too. You know, I'm pretty picky about how the truck feels. You know, I don't want it to be too rough. I don't want it to be too smooth. I want it to be just right. Of course, that's all personal preference, depending upon what you like. But it's going to be interesting to me to see if these changes that they make are going to affect how the truck performs and how it rides. Is it going to be bouncy? Is it going to articulate between the cab and the bed? You know, trucks used to really be bad that way. Way back, I think when I was in high school, I drove a full-size Chevy. And it was a single cab with a long bed on the back. And that thing would articulate like mad. You could see it in the rearview mirror. If you went over railroad tracks or something, you could see how the bed was kind of articulating, moving up and down as you went over that bed. You could feel it in the truck. You could feel a kind of a bounce. The front would do its thing, and then the rear would do its thing. It was a really strange feeling. I can't imagine that Toyota's going to put out a Tacoma that's like that. But you never really know until you have it and you can actually see and feel what it's like, you know. So anyway, that's my decision. I will be keeping this Toyota Tacoma. It is a 2021 SR5. It is a 2-wheel drive, by the way. I do think the next time around I'll get a 4-wheel drive just because I kind of want to run the full gamut of what's available. It will be a lower trim model, though. I'm not looking for a finished truck. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you're doing. Are you hot in the market to grab one of those new 4-banger turbos? Or are you going to keep what you have? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic, and RobMotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.